everybody, welcome back to the second week of SoCal Sports Report. I'm Ailis Garcia with my co-host Bobby DeMuro. This week is super exciting because we are heating things up on the ice. NHL, we're talking about the Ducks and the Kings, two teams that are really hot right now in Southern California, ironically, because the NHL, it hasn't really been popular in the past couple of years, really ever. And now that we have two really good teams here in Southern California, in LA and in Anaheim, people are actually paying attention. So I wanted to get your thoughts on who do you think is going to take the crown this year?
Well, people are paying attention, not named Bobby DeMuro. I am not an NHL fan, but I'll play along with you. Okay, let's talk about it. We've got the Sharks, too, up north in San Jose who are doing well. So it is a good year in California for the NHL. The Ducks, they spent $135 million on players. They've got two great ones, Ryan Getzlaf and Corey Perry on the front line. And they've got a phenomenal goalie in Jonas Hiller. So you look at all the parts the Ducks have, and they look very sexy. They're undefeated at home. They've got the second best road record. They're a great looking team. However, you asked me who I like in the playoffs. I got to go with the Kings. You can't beat experience. Back-to-back Western Conference Finals appearances. We know what they did in 2012 when they won it all. They are the ultimate underdog, and I know it's tough to be a second, third seed and call yourself an underdog, but they're the ultimate kind of come-from-behind underdog playoff team who knows what they're doing and has been there before.
I understand, yeah. They definitely have the experience of playing in a playoffs and championship series, so they know what that's like. The players know what that's like. But at the same time, you can't discredit the Ducks. They're doing amazing right now. They're the Mighty Ducks.
Well, okay, I mean, we can bring 90s movies to the forefront. You're right. Mighty Ducks is maybe the greatest sports movie ever. That would be a great topic on this show, by the way.
I know.
We should. Okay, we'll do that next week.
Yeah.
But I think with the Ducks, one thing, and you mentioned this off camera, the Corsi ratings. I'm not a huge hockey guy, so Corsi ratings are new to me. But it's basically possessing the puck and how well you do it as a team. The Kings, first in the NHL. The Ducks, 19th. That's going to come into play.
I agree that it may actually catch up with them as we move further into the season. But you never know. They could all of a sudden get better.
You do never know. The one other thing I like about the Kings, the Ducks have a good goalie in Hiller. We talked about him, but Jonathan Quick maybe is the best American-born goalie in the NHL right now, and he was arguably the reason in 2012 they won the Stanley Cup. There's no reason he couldn't do it again in 2014. I don't know if they get that far, but he's got that ability.
Right. No, I agree. I think that it's going to be something that's really exciting to watch, which also leads to our next topic. January 25th, the Ducks and the Kings are actually going to battle it out at Dodger Stadium. How ironic is that? But how awesome is that, too?
Do you see my face? To me,
I know you have front row seat tickets.
Yeah, right. If you're paying, I'll have front row seat tickets. To me, it's a gimmick. It's a marketing gimmick. And obviously it is, you playing a hockey game in a baseball stadium. But I feel like hockey traditionalists have got to hate this. If you have a great product, which the Ducks and the Kings do, even if you're not a hockey fan and I'm not, if you have a great product, let it speak for itself at Staples Center or at the Honda Center. You don't need to go to LA. You don't need to go to Dodger Stadium. You don't need to do it outdoors. And I get it. More people will watch. I understand why. I just think it's a little hokey. You would never see a football team play a gimmick game at Dodger Stadium. And it's because they have their own following and they have their own product.
I have to disagree, though. I think that they have sold over 80% of the tickets. They have dropped them down because the prices were a little ridiculous and outrageous. I think close to $200 a ticket, which that's a lot of money that you have to fork out for just one ticket. But at the same time, it's something because hockey is so hot right now, people are going to want to come to watch this game. We're in the middle of Hollywood. This is something that Hollywood would do.
That's true. This is a Hollywood maybe only event. They've done outdoor games elsewhere.
Yeah,
but for an outdoor game in LA, Dodger Stadium is...
This is the place to be. It's, you're going to see some stars. They're going to play under the stars. I think it's something that if it turns out well, this is something that you could expect every year and have people come out to watch that.
My only question is, and I know that they're going to obviously put the ice down and have something under the ice so it doesn't melt, but what if it is like 85 degrees? And I mean, it has to at some level affect the quality of play. Don't the players hate this crap?
I mean, they may not be comfortable with it, but there's going to be publicity around it, and
they're still collecting a paycheck.
Exactly. So I don't think they really care.
And they're all Canadian, so they're just happy to be in the sun, and I don't know, they're not, whatever.
Who knows? But speaking of being in the sun and hockey, I believe 7 Ducks are actually going to the Olympics and 6 Kings. So that just is another testament to how great both teams are this year.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Olympics, Lindsey Vonn just pulled out this week she's not going to be competing anymore. She's not going to be an athlete there because of an injury to her right knee. What do you think this says about the Olympics?
Well, it says a lot that we're talking about it. There's just not a lot of marketable American athletes right now who are sort of in the next phase in the Winter Olympics. In the summer, you transition from Michael Phelps to Ryan Lochte to whoever else. In the winter, there's not a lot of people you can talk about beyond Lindsey Vonn. Apollo Antonono retired. Shaun White, I get it, he's there. You already know what I'm going to say. I'm just sick of him, and I don't mean, no offense to him, there's nothing wrong.
He's a great athlete. He's been able, I think the sport came around in 1998. It hasn't been long for a while, and he's been able to really bring attention to it.
He's just, I'm done with him. Let's move on. There's got to be another snowboarder. But that's the thing. Where do we move on to? We don't have that next crop of American athletes, and we'll find them. NBC will surely find them during the Olympics, but they lose. He will absolutely find them because he's the best, and we want to be like him. He should come on the show sometime.
You really should. Bob, if you're watching, we'd love to have you.
Come on, Bob. You're the face of our show. Okay. I think the NBC will find these guys, but they really backed themselves into a corner when Vonn got injured, and she's also had a history of injury problems. They should have seen this coming. They really only marketed with her.
Right. Yeah, she was the face of the entire Olympics. Every marketing campaign really had her on it, and I believe in the marketing office, they didn't really think that through too well because athletes get injured all the time.
Yeah.
And there was a high percentage chance that she would get injured again. And that also means that, she has contracts and she has endorsement deals with other big brands. What are they going to be doing for this?
Yeah.
There's a lot of money at stake, but I think that if you're Lindsey Vonn, you're going to be at the Olympics either way. She may not be competing as an athlete, but she will be there with NBC or with some other outlet reporting and talking about the Olympics when she's there.
I guess we'll see.
And does that wrap it up for us this week?
Well, I kind of have a question for you, Ailis, in honor of the Olympics, since it's coming up here in a few weeks. If you could compete in any Olympic sport, we'll say winter or summer, any Olympic sport, which one would you compete in and why?
I would have to go with ice skating. I mean, we all know how great of an ice skater I am. I'm just kidding.
Not at all.
We're talking about you do not want to see me on the ice.
We're talking about figure skating, Kristi Yamaguchi, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so more of the figure skating sport.
Why is that?
I grew up with Michelle Kwan. I love Michelle Kwan. She was my Olympic athlete idol growing up. I used to, sit there and watch all of her performances, even when she wasn't competing in the Olympics, when she was competing in other world classics or whatnot. And I grew up dancing and competing, and so I can relate to the entertainment and the performance aspect of it, the costumes, just everything involved with figure skating. And so that's my sport. And only the girls too, because no offense to guys.
Only the girls.
I mean, who watches men's figure skating?
I just got a great idea. So Dancing with the Stars, incredibly popular show.
Right.
Ice skating, figure skating, when it happens at the Olympics, incredibly popular. Why don't we do ice skating with the stars? And you would have celebrities and former Olympic figure skaters
falling
pair up together.
on their face.
It would be fascinating. It would be the insurance you'd have to take out on that show would be monumental. But it would be fascinating, and we would dissect every episode on it.
For sure. We would be there.
There we go.
Yeah.
NBC, Bob Costas. Bob Costas could do the play-by-play. We have a show. I would pick baseball if we're picking Olympic sports. I know it's a bit of a trick question because it's not an Olympic sport, but I think they need to put baseball back into the Olympics. And the reason is it's a global game like soccer and basketball are. It's incredibly popular around the world. You've got professional leagues in, get ready, Japan, China, Taiwan, Korea, the United States, Mexico, Italy, Germany, the United Kingdom, Venezuela, Australia, Cuba, and the Dominican Republic, and I'm out of breath. But it's a global sport that the U.S. would not dominate. Proof is at the World Baseball Classic, the U.S. hasn't won yet. Other countries have been winning. So I think it's relatively... Well,
it makes sense, too, and more than half of your players aren't even from the U.S. They're from other countries, so they're going to be playing for their country.
And the parity is there. Other countries are good. Canada's good, obviously. They don't have their own professional league, but they would have another good Olympic team. I think it's time for baseball to be an Olympic sport. That's just my stumping.
No, I completely agree. So that's it for this week. If you have any ideas for other topics, if you want to debate us, reach out to us. Comment in the section below. Tweet us, Facebook us. You know where to find us. I'm Ailis Garcia, Bobby DeMuro. We'll see you next week.